Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king, Espinal. And joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend. It is Joshua, Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What up, Chris? What up, everybody listening?
Hey, buddy. Oh, my goodness. We are back. It is Super Thursday here on New Jump City. We're going to do our American comics this week. We have a small handful. It'll be a fun little show we're going to do. We got the X-Books, we got Batman, but let's get into plugs first. You could find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JD Cole _37. That's on Instagram, and at NYChillin with an EN, not an ING. That's on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. Brian's not here, but I will do his plugs in his stead. You can find him at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. And also check him out when he's streaming at twitch.tv/It's Punchline. He plays video games for the masses, so check him out. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. Get all up in our DMs. Can you do that for email? Is that the proper terminology for email? That's an inbox. Anyway.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Email us. Whatever you guys want. Or you can comment on whatever video you watch, whether it's the full episodes or the little highlight breakouts we make for every manga that we do. Let us know what you thought about this week's comics and manga. Subscribe while you're at it. That would be super cool. Like, share with your friends. It'll be super sweet if you guys would do that. Tell people if you like the show, let people know. If you prefer audio versions of the podcast, we are on every podcast platform there is, whether it's iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pandora. We're everywhere, so check us out. And with that being said, that's it. That's done. Spoiler alerts ahead. Let's get the show started. Batman. This is Batman number 117, the Fear State finale. We finally made it. Last we left off, things was not looking good for Simon Saint. He is freaking out right now.
These panels, those first three panels, when you zoom in.
Yeah. Where he's just like...
That's a story in of itself.
Yeah, he goes through like the 3 stages of grief. In the first view, where he's just like, I don't understand. I spend so much money. How is this not working? The second panel is, for whatever reason, he's got like his cheeks like like what? He's like, I can't understand. It's just a guy in a suit. Why can't they kill him? And I'm like, you must be new here.
Yeah, very new.
Yeah, you thought it was sweet out here? So yeah, everybody around him is just like, yo, everything's going terribly. Like the mayor's mad at us, and he's like, I don't have time for a 2-bit politician.
You don't give a fuck about no politician. Come on.
We're making money moves here. His other guy says, like, there's been another earthquake and shit is going down. Some buildings are starting to collapse in the Narrows, and he's just like, oh my god, we need to arrest someone now.
Yo, we need to make an arrest now. Pure desperation.
Yeah. Imagine me needing to arrest someone this badly. But that's when some guy, he hears a thump at the door. The door opens, and it's the whole Bat family rolling in peacekeeper armor. Just like, yeah, sup, we are under arrest. We caught you. Meanwhile, back at the battle between Peacekeeper number 1 and Batman, they're really out here scrapping. I'll give them that. This is like the most action, like for real action I've seen in a comic book in a long time, where it's just like 1v1 actual battle going on.
Yeah, Batman versus Raisin with technology.
Yeah, a Raisin man.
Cyber Raisin. Destroyer, yeah. Peacekeeper. Look at his head. That was great.
Yeah. Scarecrow is talking shit to Miracle Molly as she's trying to, I guess, fix his machine somehow. He's like, my fear bomb will go off in just a few minutes, and then Gotham can evolve. And she's like, shut up, dude. I'm not gonna let that happen. Scarecrow whispers some doubt into her. He's like, then it's in your hands, isn't it? You get to decide. Does Gotham stay the way it's always been? Or does it change right here and now? And man, he mentions the Unsanity Collective, where he's like, your Unsanity Collective has been wrong about so many things, but at least now, we can't just keep pushing forward the way things are. Miracle Molly knocks him out, and then starts thinking about what he says. She's just like, shit. He's gotten to me, I guess.
That last part?
He's real convincing, that Scarecrow, when you really want him to be. Meanwhile, the battle continues in a big 2-page spread where Peacekeeper's like, that all you got, Batman? And he says, no. And the rest of the 2-page spread is him whooping ass. Meanwhile, back at Eden, Poison Ivy is confronted by Harley Quinn, who is bringing her Poison Ivy's innocence in the form of another Ivy. Apparently, the last time Ivy died, Gardner saw that you might not survive. Well, the last time she attacked Gotham, rather, she thought Gardner saw that she wouldn't survive, so she took the most precious, innocent part of Ivy and planted it somewhere. And it was found by bad guys, but Catwoman saved it. And that's how that happened. Explained, like, I guess, the plot of Catwoman up to this point, I imagine. So she's like, please merge with your innocence again and make things okay. And Poison Ivy doesn't really put up a fight. She's like, okay. Fuses with her innocent self, and she's back to being Ivy. Yeah, that was easy. That was easier than I thought. I thought it'd be a little bit more of a struggle there. But I guess this makes sense. Ivy calls off her big attack on Gotham and instead uses it to bring people peace instead of the fear that they were experiencing during this time. She even heals that one Unsanity Collective kid. That was sweet of her. And then she and Harley share a kiss. Ivy is fully back. Yay! Ah! Go Ivy. Meanwhile, back at the battle between Peacekeeper and Batman, Peacekeeper is just like, this is Peacekeeper calling the magistrate. I've shot the Scarecrow and I'm about to kill Batman. And one of the last of the Unsanity Collective converge on my location. And Batman's like, sheesh, no one's coming, Sean. That's already fallen apart. Ain't nobody coming to save you. Yeah, so, Batman then just, like, takes off his utility belt and wraps it around his arm like a fucking brass knuckle. And they both run at each other, looking to clash. Batman says, I hear the fear in your voice, Sean. That little tremor.
You see blood in the water.
Yeah, I hear bitch, Sean, in your little voice. They clash out. Sean misses. Batman does a sweet flip in midair while talking about how Scarecrow played him and that he's no hero. And then he delivers a punch with his utility belt brass knuckle thing and knocks out Peacekeeper for good. So after all the commotion has settled, Batman's like, Molly, have you disarmed the bomb? And Molly's like, not quite. And Batman looks behind her and is like, what are you doing?
God.
Oh!
I thought it was over.
I want to go home.
It's just begun. Now he has to begin the mental part of the battle.
Yeah, he has to bring... He's like, I just got knocked in the head like... I just got knocked in the head like 12 times. I don't have time for this ideological debate right now.
I mean, like, I wish you guys could see this page. I hope you guys can see this page. I mean, Batman's looking back at Molly, right? As she's talking. And he says, you can't do this. Look at his face. He's he's vulnerable again.
Yeah.
Here we are again. Bruce looking very vulnerable. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
I choose to believe this as Batman's just like.
It was really hard.
I choose to interpret this as Batman being like, all right, like annoyed, like, I should have seen this coming. She's gonna have like a fucking debate within herself about what's the right thing to do, and I gotta be like, Miracle Molly, I've done this like 12 times with different people.
Makes sense. It was their machine to begin with.
Yeah.
So it's not like, all Scarecrow did was kind of like remind her what their purpose was in the first place, the insanity. And, I guess that's what makes these next couple of pages really impactful. Because we're seeing the fruits of Batman and Miracle Molly's conversations that they had before, and then them experiencing this and both of them being vulnerable. Anyway, wait, let me save that for after we finish.
Yeah, I agree with. I mean, honestly, all jokes aside, there's this very nice moment where Batman uses unwires his cowl and gives Miracle Molly this jacks that will allow her to just kind of like tap into the Bat computer in Bruce's cowl. And she sees all the
an aux cord.
Yeah, he has an HDMI.
Bluetooth? He a broke boy.
He's got an HDMI in his his cowl.
Yeah, Wayne Industries really has gone under, huh?
Yeah, he's like, I can't afford.
Wired?
Well, Wayne Industries hasn't gone down. He just doesn't get any money from it anymore.
His ass has gone down. Yeah.
You got an Ethernet cable in there? I can't do Bluetooth anymore. I can't afford it. So yeah, Molly sees all of the stuff that's happening around Gotham with Saint being arrested and the mayor being swarmed by the media, and the Peacekeeper drones just like leaving, just bouncing, I guess. They were called off, I imagine. And the Bat family just kind of walking away, triumphant in a way. There's this really cool page where as this newscast is going, talking about how the day is saved and they know who to thank about it, because they see that fucking light in the sky and they know who was responsible. This big splash page of the whole Bat family looking up at the Bat signal. And Batman lays down some real truth here. I really appreciate, to paraphrase, my favorite moment of this is when he says, the human capacity for good is incredibly powerful. I believe when you take away politicians and the media and corporations, and it's just people together, they can overcome their fears. They can overcome anything. And Molly's just like, I'm not sure. I don't know, Batman. I'm not sure you're right. And Batman's like, I'm not sure I'm right either. There's not much in this world I'm sure of, but I do believe. And Miracle Molly puts down the mind machine device, and she looks at Batman and is like, I want to believe too. She runs up and embraces him. And this big last panel showing a flower growing out of what I assume is gravel. I mean, it is a sewer, so just asphalt or whatever concrete is used there. And that's where the issue ends. There is a backup story for Batgirls, which is a series that's actually coming soon. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing. That was Fear State. I imagine there's going to be an epilogue issue coming after, but yeah, James Tynion's run is like very close to over. I guess I'll start off. I'll say that this is my VGI, I would say.
Certified VGI.
Same.
Yo.
Certified VGI.
Yeah. I mean, James Tynion's run has been pretty masterful. I love the art by Jimenez, of course. He's just like delivering for what is one of the last times he's doing Batman. I hope he continues on with DC's work, or in a place where I can see his art in general. So, pretty happy about it. I love the overall message of, just kind of like this whole thing has just been an analogy for, how media is a big part of the fears in this world. We see a lot of this story is littered with like the news just being very like fear-mongery type thing. We see obvious analogies to like police brutality, and it tries to cover a lot of subjects, and I think it does fairly well with them. But yeah, I mean, that's all I got to say about it.
Yeah.
I think you got something brewing in you. I see it.
Yeah. I have a few thoughts. I got a little emotional reading this. But not like the crying kind of emotional, like, and not even like the happy, or I don't know. I guess you could say sad, but I really want to give a kudos to the artist and how this is just. I mean, they have done well this whole series. So and we've documented that many times, but you know, this is one of the times in sequential art where the art tells and sells the story and shows the true potential of comics or of sequential art and why it is a respectable media and a media that deserves to be absorbed and criticized separate from other things like a book or just a movie. It is a beauty in itself. But anyway, aside from just marveling about the art, what this end scene made me think about was, weirdly enough, like how I think about like my relationship with my girlfriend, and how, you know, at the end of the day, our relationship is built on trust and love and trying to be understanding. And I would really argue, bro, that at the end of the day, that is what society is. All of us kind of being together in the same situation and trusting each other and having that love for each other, you know, as people, not like being in love with another, obviously, you know, but just that care and that trust. It's like a social contract, you know, and it's that you agree to do your thing and let others do theirs, and just try to, you know, do good for your family and support others. So when Batman says that, you know, the human capacity for good is incredibly powerful, I definitely agree with that, and I think that it's a scientific. I've mentioned this before. I think it's a scientific fact. I think that I do believe in evolution. I do agree with the theory, and part of that tells me that we survived because we were good, you know, could we helped each other. That's what helped us beat lions and mammoths and all of that. Teamwork and you know, putting your mind together towards a goal. So anyway, I'm kind of long-winded with the point, but I'm just bringing out these pages that I think they were really deep. So looking at Miracle Molly, right? Okay. So even though we spent a short amount of time with her, which, you know, similar to Star and Stripe, where, you know, it was skillful how we got a liking to her in just such a short amount of time. That happened for me with Miracle Molly, literally I always thought she was cool. I liked the way she stood up to Batman and how, you know, her progressive ideas and standing up for you know, the oppressed and all of that. I always dig that, but you know, she was just kind of this person that championed these beliefs. Now I see Miracle Molly as someone that's been through so much shit and who has lost that trust in humanity. And that's what I really think is one of the perhaps this, I don't want to say subtext of the series, because they clearly claim that there's trauma, that, you know, that a lot of this is about trauma and what the people in Gotham is going through. And, you know, Scarecrow saying that he wants to see, like, he thinks society's better. He wants to see society develop when they get to when trauma pushes them past that point where they, in my opinion, it seems like he wants to eliminate humanity and see people I guess I crazier for lack of a better word. So it's kind of funny because he says of evolution, but it's really like regression in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of getting off subject. Anyway, back to Miracle Molly. That's why I make the point about relationships and society with trust, and that's what the trauma has done to her and everyone in Gotham, and that's what it does to people in real life as well. Trauma breaks that trust and makes it hard to open up and be sociable and thrive. Like that's why so many children or young adults, whatever, people who are victims of abuse, they shut themselves out and they project, and all of that has to do with them losing their trust in figures that they held dear. And we relate that to society. A fatherly figure is like it's a leader. It's a leader, or a mother in charge. Your parents, your guardians, your teachers in school. Maybe you won't trust them because you're like, oh well, who the fuck are you? You're someone that says they have my best interest in mind. Well, so do my parents, and they beat my ass every time they drink. I want to cut I'm gonna cut this short because I hope I'm articulating this as well as I can. I just think James Tynion did this really well with this character, especially when with Batman, just telling her things will be fine even though we don't know for sure what the case is gonna be, and that's the truth, because at the end of the day, we don't know what's going to happen the next day we wake up, bro. We don't even know if the planet will still be here. You feel me? On some real shit. But, all we can do is really kind of try every day and put a little bit of effort towards bettering ourselves and bettering the world altogether. And that's the difference between Batman or Bruce Wayne, who's a millionaire, and, even though he's a fictional character, but, even though he's someone who has all this money and stuff, he tries. He uses his funds and puts his body on the line to try to better the world the best he feels like he can. He's not perfect. I mean, he's not fucking Clark Kent. There's a literal example to him in his own universe that shows how to do it better. Yeah. And he just, he just can't. So I think that's why this is a very believable how do I put it? Like, interaction here. She respects Bruce. She trusts him because he's proved it with his track record in the past of who Batman is and what he's always done, and through her own eyes and through working with him directly. Mm-hmm. This was earned. This was a relationship that was earned and built, and he can't promise her anything. Same way he can't promise anybody anything. But he can say that as long as there's people like us around, we will make the world better, because we have to believe that. And that's what I got from this. And call it cheesy. I know you wouldn't, obviously, but man, it's just beautiful, and that's the stuff we need. People need to be reminded that the little bit of efforts we put in matter, regardless of how fucked up the world really is because of greedy people. Do you have any more thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree with everything. No, I agree with everything you're saying, and I don't want to reiterate any points because I think it was pretty well said. The only thing I'll add is that I think there's this is a story that has a lot of allegories to real life, a lot of comparisons, I guess, to real life. I think what Miracle Molly represents is, I guess, this new generation of kids that's, taking up activism and trying to do things their own way. A lot of the Unsanity Collective is young. Miracle Molly being one of them. And I think what she represents is this new generation that is, has these great intentions, but can maybe be a little too radical sometimes. And I think a lot of this story is about control and trying to kind of force certain things to happen the way that trying to force the world into being a better place one way or another. And Batman is the representation of the point where it just can't be that way sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta fight tooth and nail every night and dress up like a bat
Right.
person in order to
Well said.
in order for this to work. And it sucks because like there's this like prevailing idea that Batman is this kind of out of touch billionaire who would be much better off using his millions of dollars of resources to influxing his community rather than dressing up as a Batman.
Which he does, by the way.
And that's what I was about to say. That's the sad part is what people don't understand is that he does.
He has a whole orphanage.
He has orphanages. He has like
with kids that have beautiful living conditions. You know what I'm saying?
He constantly finds underprivileged but brilliant children and gives them jobs in his corporation. And this is outside of his work as Batman. The problem is that like whenever Batman tries to do something, like Bruce tries to do something in terms of I guess a charity or whatever, there's always some weirdo coming in and bombing it. It sucks. And that's the whole thing, you know, is that Bruce can do all the things he wants, but like, you know, there's always been crime, and it's like aside from the crazy ones that he's technically created, if you want to even say that much, but there's always been mobsters there that was just like casually shooting people and whatever. That was stuff that he didn't create. But you know, I think this really shows what Batman represents to, say, community. The ideal rich guy, the ideal of a privileged person using their privilege to help others as best he can, and a lot of it is selfish because it happened. He's doing it as like a constant coping mechanism to how his parents died. So there is a bit of selfishness in that, but he does have Gotham in heart. I don't think I would take the ass whoopings he would for my city. Like it is pretty crazy, the idea. Even if you do have like the best technology, he gets his ass whooped. He got beat down by the Peacekeeper this issue. You know, it takes a lot of chutzpah. But I will say that I think this captures. There was definitely a societal message in this, and it's that, you know, change doesn't necessarily come from like these big sprawling actions. It comes from smaller ones, you know, like the things you do every day for your community, whether it's, you know, for lack of a better term, fighting crime, or, you know, helping people out in whatever small way that you possibly can, or just generally being a nicer person and trying to be more minded and helping people wherever you can. And it doesn't have to be a big dramatic gesture.
Man, I you know what? People are put in adverse situations, and a lot. I'm confident. I think I'm confident in saying most of the time it's because of other people's greed. And you know, like you said, Batman said, if you take away the politicians and the media and the corporations, etc., I don't think those things inherently complicate life and make things rougher for people.
Of course not. No.
You know, it's the corrupt people in those positions that happen to be in those positions of power because of the nature of it. You know,
mm-hmm. It just happens to be.
So you know, yeah. Well said, Chris. And this is This is. I don't know. Is it underrated? I mean, obviously, it's
Tinian's
Batman.
Run? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how. Like, I'm not that tapped into American comic audiences. I would love for people to comment and let us know what they think about Tinian's runs. I personally think that this was a pretty masterful run. I feel like it feels like cut short because I think Tinian is leaving to do other things for some reason. But I do respect like what he's tried to do here, and I think he's done it pretty well. Yeah, I don't know how people rank this Batman run. I would love to hear it. If you have any opinions on what you think about Tinian's run of Batman, please let us know. Comment, whatever, and we'll read them next time, because I believe whatever we see next from Batman will be Tinian's final issue on the run. So please let us know. But I've exhausted all of my thoughts on Batman. Do you have anything else to say finally, or do you want to?
Oh, same. I've exhausted my thoughts as well.
Well, with that being said, Batman was fantastic. And we will move on. The X books. We only got 2 of these today. Man, Marvel has really been blessing my wallet lately. I appreciate it. Must be a thank you for all the loyal the loyal dollars I've spent with 5 books in a week. But anyway, we're going to start with S.W.O.R.D, number 10. Last we left off, it turns out WizKid is a traitor. And and also I guess the super guardians of Shi'ar were just like washed by the Lethal Legion.
They sure were.
They got destroyed. It was kind of crazy. Even Gladiator was there, and I'm like, Gladiator doesn't play games. Why isn't he just like eviscerating everyone in his path? Everything I've seen of Gladiator has been just like nonstop savagery, but I don't know. All of a sudden, he's soft. Anyway, this issue starts off with WizKid, aka Takashi Matsuya, and we learn a little bit about his experience. He is a paralyzed mutant, and he's actually dyslexic as well. He talks about how in Krakoa, it's a lot like, living in, I guess, for lack of a better term, the human world, where no matter where he goes, his disability is always like brought up and just kind of like questioned, and everybody gives him like the weird side eye on top of him being dyslexic and him having to feeling like he has to prove himself and how smart he is, having to like build shit just to make sure people know that he's not stupid. And yeah, the next scene is just basically the fallout of what happened in last issue regarding the Super Guardians. Storm comes in and is like, I don't like that you've killed these people. What the fuck? So, Mr. Elegant points his cool atomic chainsaw at Storm. But Frenzy comes in and blocks it. I don't know what her powers are at all. I'm gonna look them up right now, but in any case, she blocks the attack, and Sam also comes in, knocks his fucking teeth out. The weird Deathbot guy, he just kind of shuts down and plays dead as the big orb in the sky. I forget its name. Commands it to.
Damn, I forget. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, I forget it too.
It's a cool name too. Probably they all have interesting names.
Yeah, they all. Yeah, there's like I remember Mr. Eloquent. She's I don't know. I'm not even gonna try. But yeah, it shuts down, and the princess of Shi'ar is like, or the queen of Shi'ar is like, she did it. She won. Deathstrike is like, yeah, she sure does, but I don't think I'm gonna like go down there quite yet. I think there's still something fishy going on.
I love the dialogue from the fucking from the cyborg horse thing. Like, I like how Storm tells him, like, so what you gonna do? Like, you gonna surrender, or am I gonna tear you apart with these tornadoes?
Tornadoes.
And he's like, noted. Recalibrating for new situations. Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, okay.
That was a very robot way of saying, yeah, all right, I'm not sure what to do now.
I don't want the smoke. Shutting down. So Frenzy's abilities are basically like strength. She can just like fight real good. She has super strength, super speed, stamina, durability, human agility. She's Luffy, I guess.
Essentially.
Luffy without the gum fruit, I suppose. But anyway, back to the S.W.O.R.D station. Cable is approached by WizKid, and WizKid remembers that, like, yeah, the old Cable's here. Back when he was young Cable, we were pretty cool buds. He was nervous being up here because this was his first like real job on Krakoa. So, he was nervous, and you know what? even now in his old state, he still like talks to me similarly because this is how he remembers me, as the guy with all the answers. But he getting a little too close, so I'm gonna shock him now. And he basically hacks Cable's mind, and knocks him out. Because remember, WizKid is a traitor. Apparently.
Yeah, this whole like monologue. Is that the right word? Where he's talking to himself?
Yeah, that's a monologue.
Right. Okay, because it's happening in the text. It's not like saying it out loud. Anyway.
No, yeah.
There's a whole monologue about how like he has to beat Cable on Cable's home field. Like, you know what I'm saying? He has to fight him in it, like with Cable having the advantage. And guess what? I won.
Yeah.
So I guess this was a flex. I guess they're showing us that
I could beat Cable.
This kid is that raw with technology.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like Cable has a lot of technology on him. His arm is very robot-y, and his eyeball is very robot-y. He's a robot. He got phalanx in him. That's pretty intense.
Is that what the techno-organic virus is?
Right. I think so. Or I think it was at least like...
Yeah,
I think it was at least related to the phalanx. But I don't... Maybe
it is related to the phalanx. Right. I know that it has something to do with your boy. That's... man! God damn it. Doug Friend.
Oh, yeah. Doug Friend. Doug Friend is fine. I remember. Cypher, yeah. And no, Warlock.
Warlock, there we go. Yeah, similar to Warlock. Anyway, Warlock is a phalanx. And he can affect things with techno-organic virus. So I believe you are correct.
I remember things sometimes.
And that was a nerd moment.
We gotta have a drop for nerd moment. Although that would probably go off all the time because this is a very nerdy podcast. But in any case, back to the battle against the Lethal Legion. Frenzy goes off to check on what's it? Gladiator, who's like on the floor. Is it weird that I'm annoyed that Gladiator's just like not doing anything?
They took his confidence away.
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck.
We went over this. He has no swag anymore.
He has no swag, but why? What happened?
Because of what they did to him. They hit him with a
Oh, you're right. The Perona guy. Empathic. Yeah, no, you're right. I forgot about the damn fucking Perona guy who can make him feel bad.
Yeah, the sadness. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. You know.
I'm a worm. I'm less than a worm.
He is. He's less than the dirt.
Yeah. I'm worse than the dirt. Yeah, I remember those when they made him say when Zoro's just like, I'm not even worth being a worm. It's really funny. But anyway, they think this thing is stopped. I would have just like destroyed this thing anyway. I don't know why they're just like letting it sit there. This is where about the time where I started getting a little confused because portals start opening up.
No, because she's a diplomat. And it's the diplomatic ring.
Yeah, you're right. There's technically no violence allowed, even though these people have killed the people they're being diplomatic with right now. But
yeah, but Storm is a regent.
She is a regent.
Damn, I think she's gonna smoke Korra. I hope not. But
yeah, we'll talk about it when that thing comes out. Actually, but in any case, portals open around the robot thing. It starts talking about how like sentience of the lake, Hellas, diplomatic ring, sentience of Morocco, long distance translocation is famously a delicate art. And all of the cyborgs are apparently revealed to have translocation receivers within them. And it turns out that they can summon themselves from different points in time, is what I gathered. And that's the big twist, because Storm tries to destroy the remaining robot thing, but it's like, too late. Coordinates locked. Lethal Legion is a disposable enemy of the future, army of the future. A perfectly balanced, self-replicating terrorist cell. So, and then they just emerge out of these portals.
The crazy thing is, they took out the whole Super Guardian unit. So, like, they're not just grunts. This is bad.
Yeah.
Might be too much for the almighty Ororo.
No, nothing's too much for Ororo. You better watch your fucking mouth. Nothing's strong. Nothing is stronger than Storm. She'll come out of the page and slap the shit out of you if you say that again.
Yeah, I gotta watch my mouth. You're right. Thanks for checking me, bro. I appreciate it.
I did it for your own good. You know, I gotta protect my boy. You didn't mean it, Storm. You didn't mean it. Meanwhile, at the Sword Station 1, Cable wakes up from just getting owned by, or as the kid would say, pwned by WizKid. He got pwned by WizKid. And it turns out that there was a mass evacuation of S.W.O.R.D. Ordered. And Cable calls in and is like, what the fuck is going on? And they're like, I don't know, man. You called this evacuation order. And at that moment, the Sword Station explodes. And we cut over to the Alpha Flight Station where Girich is standing with WizKid. And he's like, oh, good work. You actually blew up S.W.O.R.D. Why? Why would you... I know that this is already done, but why would you betray Krakoa like that? I almost said Konoha, but why would you...
the Hidden Leaf?
Yeah. Why would you destroy the Konoha Gakure for this?
I forgot the Japanese name.
Yeah, he basically says, like, let's just say I don't see humans and mutants all that different. Xavier Magneto brought Apocalypse into this, and that's where I was out. You know, fuck that guy. And Girich is like, good, I believe you fully. And for the record, that's exactly what I thought you'd say. And he walks away, and that's when it turns out WizKid's
wait. WizKid says under his breath, like, so I wanted you to think. So you thought it because that's exactly what I wanted you to think.
I want you. Wow, I planned this. Stupid.
You don't know me like that.
Fucking idiot. Get wrecked.
Yo, this kid's on a chance.
Okay, so he's just like, he talks about how, so when you tell people what they already think, they bend over backwards to believe it. It fits his worldview to put me in a little box, but Krakoa medicine helps me, and Krakoa doesn't ask about my insurance plan.
Yeah, nigga.
Stupid. Their healthcare system is incredible. You think I was going to leave their healthcare system? They got fucking socialized medicine on Krakoa. You think I'm leaving?
Fucking stupid.
You want me to come back and get, I don't know, health first? No way.
Work a minimum wage job?
No. I'll
pay taxes. Offer them to not go into the community in our schools and roads?
No way, sir.
And social services? No. All in people's pockets? Yeah.
Yeah, no, never.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. But yeah, he says the truth was it's not really a lie either. But mutants and humans aren't really so different. We're all Earthers, citizens of the Soul System. If we can bring everybody up to where we are, drag them here if we have to. Is that arrogant? And he starts talking to a little voice. I wonder who this is. Where he's just like...
With the green lettering?
Yeah. I wonder who could that possibly be. And talking to this voice, he's like, they still don't get it. We make technology out of plants, out of mutants combining their powers. We can make anything out of the particles in the air if we want. And this little voice pulls up from out of his collar, I guess, and is like, even so, let's remember to be humble, Taki. After all, it's not like mutants invented PIM particle technology, and it's Abigail Brand who planned this all along.
Yeah.
I think we definitely called this last time we talked about the S.W.O.R.D.
I mean, like, don't you just complete? Yeah, I mean, why forego the healthcare?
Yeah, of course. He should have like realized that as he walked out the door. It's like, wait, he's like leaving free healthcare and immortality.
Oh, they don't know. Well, Peter Garrick doesn't know about the resurrection.
Oh, he doesn't. You're right.
Yeah, but
Well, I'll tell you what. I feel like Garrett also realized that this might happen. That like he brought Abigail Brand on here or whatever. Because I think there was a point to him saying, that's exactly what I thought you said. With WizKid also saying, well, that's what exactly I thought you said. I knew that what you would say. So, who's smart now? But
I knew you. What did I?
So who's the smart guy now? But Garrett probably knew that he was going to say that. So it was there. I remember there was this scene in Ice Shield 21 where they did something very similar, but they kept layering it on. Where it's like, is what I thought what you thought I'd say. They kept like going back and forth about it. What a weird scene that was. Anyway, it reminded me a lot of this. But that was S.W.O.R.D. It was a solid issue. I don't know how many S.W.O.R.D. issues are left.
What is it at right now?
This is the 10th.
Probably 12.
So 2 more.
That's a nice number.
12 sounds like a nice number indeed. But yeah, I thought this was solid overall. It was good to see the story of WizKid. I thought his backstory was pretty cool and interesting. I didn't hate it at all. But I don't have all that much to say about S.W.O.R.D. It was a solid comic book. I'm annoyed that Gladiator has no swag in this, but whatever. What are you gonna do?
He'll get right. He don't need to. I don't think Stone can beat all of those people. Whoa.
Hey, whoa!
I'm
hey.
saying it would be nice for her to have assistant.
Yeah, I wish she would just like spare them a little so other mutants can do things.
She can't beat all of them easily. She might have to try a little bit.
You're pushing it, but all right. You're pushing it. But yeah, that was S.W.O.R.D. Solid enough issue. I suppose we should move on to X-Force number 25. This is the 25th issue, which is a big deal in American comics. The Quadricentennial issue. Big word I haven't used since episode 25 in general, so pretty good. We open with Wolverine visiting Forge in his forge, and he's apparently built Wolverine a surfboard made out of Krakoan balsa and adamantium. So it's equal parts a surfboard and also a very sharp thing. As we all know, Wolverine loves sharp things, even when they don't have to be sharp.
I don't know about surfing, so
I mean,
maybe the sharpness is excellent.
Yeah, it needs to. It's maybe the sharpness is excellent. But yeah, I mean, I don't know anything. If there are any surfers who listen to the show, you can comment and let us know the significance of a very sharp that makes you bleed type surfboard. But anyway, I guess Wolverine's gonna go.
Wolverine is just a vehicle for like male coolness.
Yeah, he does everything.
I don't know how else to explain that, man. Like, he's everything. He's everything that's cool
and manly.
Manly, yeah. Like,
I'll tell you what.
Very masculine. Like, not even just masculine stuff. Just like all the awesome stuff he does.
Yeah, 90s kids are freaking the.
Surfs.
90s kids are freaking the fuck out right now. He's a surfer. I wish I had like the Rocket Power theme song queued up.
Yeah,
we are riders on a beach. I honestly would never have pegged Wolverine for a surfer, but I guess he does that too now.
I would not have either. Like, it is not even all right. I wouldn't even put it past him That's not the issue. It was this page. You know what I'm talking about?
Is it when he's just looking at the waves? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. He's just like, yes.
Choice.
Yo.
Oh my god. These waves are tubular.
When he starts waxing poetic about the tubes.
Oh my god. Dude. And the
We're
tubes.
gonna get to that. We'll get
Listen,
to that.
I will. Before we move on, I will say that he talks about the tubes, but he's also like, I love these waves so much because they really fuck you up if you fall in them. They really beat the shit out of you if you fall in these waves, and only I can survive them. So, you know, I fuck with them. I just come here and die sometimes. I'm gonna serve these death waves. So we cut over to the cuckoos, who I guess are like just chilling, being a hive mind.
Yes.
And they look up in the air and they see like this text being written out. It says Phoebe plus Quentin in a big old heart thing made out of psionic energy. And Quentin pulls up, is like, "Hey, let's go on our date thing. What we gotta do." I thought this was a cute little gesture. But her sisters are mean.
Yo, so fucked up.
Yeah, they're just like, "Ugh, it's him." And they go away. They just like leave, and Quentin's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "No, it's fine. I'm okay. Don't read my mind. It's okay." And Choir's like, "All right, let's go." And they enter the bower, which is, I guess, basically this nursery for mutant babies. And then we cut back to Wolverine 2-page spread surfing. I wish I had that Lilo and Stitch song. It was like, riding high in a Hawaiian roller coaster ride. But, yo, he even pulls out his claws and puts them in the wave. Wolverine's even got to stab water. This man has a problem.
Simply just because. All right, so here's the thing, right? I do understand what he's saying. Like, you know, when they say, what he write? There's no better feeling in the world beats the best sex or whiskey buzz you'll ever chase. Right. I'm not a drinker like that. So I can't relate. But I'm gonna tell you this, bro. When you're doing something, I know how it feels to like feel in control over like a force of nature or something like that. It is an exhilarating and awesome feeling. Something like surfing, or like even if you're like riding a bike, you know what I'm saying, over terrain, or you're boating or something, like, you know what I mean. It's just when it's just you versus nature in a situation and you succeed, it's really dope. It's almost like winning in gambling. The fucking serotonin, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right?
It's an adrenaline rush, you know. He's like a thrill seeker.
So I don't want to make fun of that. He's right, and that is awesome, and I think he expressed it well. But it's like, Wolverine. I mean, he's saying these things, and he pulls out his metal claws, and it's like,
yeah, I
when
don't
did
know.
you find time for surfing, bro? I guess he was alive so long. That's not like.
I mean, sure. No. I mean, I'm not like, there's no way Wolverine surfs, but I never really thought about it. I've also never been like, Wolverine probably surfs, you know, like I never had that thought. Yeah, I don't know when he became like Anthony Bourdain, where he's just like traveling, doing cool shit. I guess.
Personnel geese.
Yeah, stab in the water, and then he just like falls in the water. He gets hit by the wave. The wave like devours him whole. And he just like gets bashed around in underwater corals and whatnot. He gets really fucked up.
Yeah, damages some fish's homes.
Yeah, he's like, tubular. As he's like going down, he's like, an elemental battle that I just lost, basically. And as he's drowning deeper and deeper into the abyss, this pair of arms comes in and grabs him out of the ocean, I guess. We cut back to the Bower, and this is actually kind of a sweet thing. Apparently, Quentin Quire comes in here every few weeks to basically calm down the mutant babies and give them, like, find out what their powers are and kind of, like, keep them at ease, make sure that the babies don't, like, lose control of their powers in infancy. It's pretty cool. I think this is a very practical, cool thing that Quentin does, especially because it ties into his backstory. He was very ostracized because his powers manifested when he was really young, and he couldn't control them. So this is how he's just kind of like making sure that doesn't happen for other kids growing up today. I think it's a very sweet gesture. But
yeah, I thought it was really nice, and it was maybe not subtle, but it was a cool way of showing his growth, affirming his character growth through this series. I mean, if this series ain't doing nothing, well, it's done other things, especially with Beast. But if nothing else, the development of Quentin Quire has been very enjoyable to see by X-Force.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't been, like, before the Hickman era, we weren't really tuned into the X-Men all that much, but Wolverine and the X-Men really introduced us to Quentin, and we really loved him back in the day.
Yeah, he was dope. He was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But he was cool, man.
Yeah, he was edgy shonen protagonist, I guess. He was Bakugo, essentially, but just meaner. But yeah, this is really cool to see how far he's come into adulthood. And we cut back to Wolverine, who's just like on this beach side, waking up. The lady who saved him is like, "Yo, you just hit a gnarly wave, dude. We come here sometimes, you know. We surf. You want to surf with us?" And then Wolverine's like, "Hell yeah!" And,
yeah, you see my adamantium surfboard?
Yo, don't touch it; it'll cut you.
I'll let you into that.
It's a surfboard and kind of a sword. It's a surf sword, I guess, if you want to put it that way. So
it's slow edge. It's been a little while.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah. So Wolverine is, I guess, surfing with these strangers. He doesn't really, like, ask them who they are and why they're on Krakoa. They're just casually surfing with them. And Wolverine's like, "Yo, this chick rules. I'm in love already. She's so cool.
I'm in love already. That's it. Fell for her.
I'm an immortal being, basically, who I'm already smitten. You know. And I guess, like, they're vibing by a campfire, and then I guess they make out at some point, talking about waves and dangerous terrain. So, yeah. Anyway. Oh, the purpose of the scene is actually, like, Wolverine reveals that, like, she's like, "Hey, we're thinking about hitting the break off the Arakan Point by the peninsula." And Wolverine's like, "That's not the point. The point is here." And she's like, "Oh, right. I got my bad." Anyway, want to make out? They just make out. Meanwhile, Quentin Quire is telepathically summoned by the cuckoo that he's dating, Phoebe, and she's like, "We need to talk." I forgot to mention this as well. There's like an informational page where the cuckoos have just like told Phoebe to dump Quentin Quire, because apparently, like,
just because
apparently they just do this sometimes, where they go to like damaged mutants and like heal their trauma, and then leave them. So, you know, they figure that Phoebe is done. She doesn't need to do this shit anymore. And it's taken away from the hive mind. So she goes over to Quentin and she's like, "I peeked in your head while we were at the nursery." And Quentin's like, "Hey, that seems odd because you're the one who told me not to read. We shouldn't read each other's minds." And she's like, "Yeah, sorry, but sometimes your mind is so loud and electric. It's like the Las Vegas Strip." And she pulls this mental image out of his mind of himself, Phoebe, and a little baby Quentin Quire with the mohawk and everything. Uh, it's really cute that he pictures the baby also has a mohawk for some reason. So Quentin's like, yeah, that was just a daydream. And she's like, it scared me. He's like, it scared you that I care that much about you? And she's like, it's just too much. You know, you want too much and you love too much. You're too much in every way. An Omega mutant through and through. And Quentin's like, damn. Whoa, what are you saying? And Phoebe's like, I need a break. And she's like, a break? You sent your astral projection here to break up with me? And she says that my greatest commitment will always be to my sisters. As Quentin is weeping in his bed, like his physical body is weeping in his bed. And I'm like, oh, Quentin.
Yeah.
Damn, that was sad as fuck. Oh, my God. He can't catch a break. It's a sad thing.
Yo, it's not fucking fair, yo.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he had been an asshole for me.
I mean, yeah, but
he's like that sometimes.
He's been better now. It's been a long time.
Yeah, for like a week.
It's been a long time since he's been a real asshole, like a real, like, sabotaging piece of shit, as opposed to just a smart ass. You know?
True.
But yeah, they're broken up, I guess, and then we cut back to the Bower, where a bunch of babies are getting kidnapped by Pike, the lady that Wolverine met, and her squad, because this was their plan the whole time. I don't know if they're mutants or not, but this is they just stuff them into these tubes and are like, all right, we got some babies, let's go. And we get an overlaying message from Black Tom to Sage, where he's like, maybe it's nothing, but maybe it's something. The veg is giving me a tickles, telling me two things that add up to a bit of bad business. First of all,
a bit of bad business.
Just a bit. Just a smidge. It's like, first there are the Bower bassinets, and then there are the plankton. There's the plankton perimeter. Need to investigate further. But if I were putting a wager down, we'd say that there's a bloody baby heist underway. As these guys just like swim away with smiles on their faces, abducting babies, and that's where the issue ends.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! We just got these.
That lady, the blonde lady's definitely lit. She's like, I got to bang Wolverine, the Wolverine, and I'm accomplishing this mission.
And
my guild is working.
And I got in some choice waves.
Woo!
They brought surfboards to a baby abducting mission.
Tubular.
Well, that's X-Force. I did enjoy this issue a lot.
Hey, that was cool.
As far as
I said that before we started the podcast. Like, it wasn't really. I don't think that it was just a bad week.
No, not at all. It's just funny. Like, aside from the Wolverine surfing stuff, which was absurd. I mean, I can't. There's no two ways about it. It's so weird to see. It's not bad at all. I'm not mad at it. It's just like made me like double take almost. It's just like, what the fuck is going on here?
So the way he had his face. Yo, you gotta make that the thing fast.
Yeah. No, I might.
You're gonna mean for something.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to. He was literally at the most peace I've ever seen Wolverine his entire life. He was just like, I'm about to catch a choice wave.
Two series. He's not Spider-Man. He's not Batman. He is, though. That's the thing. People love him.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? A while ago, I was thinking, like, why hasn't Spider-Man and Wolverine got their own series? They have a little dynamic, and they do. They have like a mini series out there somewhere. I'd like to read it someday, but in any case, that was X-Force. Lots of fun. All the books were solid this week. Nothing super intense, but in any case, that's all I got to say about it. Are you all set?
Yeah.
Then that has been our show. Oh, yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening to Super Thursday. Very fun. Very glad to have done it. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram, Josh at jdcole_37 on Instagram, and at nychillin on Twitter. Brian is at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. Follow him at It's Punchline, twitch.tv/It's Punchline. The show itself, I don't think I mentioned it up top, but you can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Follow us on Twitter especially because we do a really good chapter of the week poll for our manga, and we'd love to have you guys cast your votes. I think that email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. We are here for it. Or comment on whatever video you're watching, whether it's the full version or the little highlights that we break out every week for you guys. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Like, share. Tell your friends about us. Let us know. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. We are on there. And we'll be back on Sunday, probably, actually. We'll probably do an even earlier manga Monday than we thought. So, keep your eye out. Subscribe. Get notifications. Hit that bell thing. I heard that bell thing is very helpful on YouTube. Notifies you whenever we upload new stuff. So, let's do it. We'll see you Sunday. We have a full house of manga, I'm expecting. So,
One Piece will be back.
One Piece will be back. But without further ado, stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Peace out.